everyone, and welcome to our RotaMaster webinar. The topic is 3 ways to recruit and retain your workforce in 2023. So hopefully those of you who have taken the time to join today have got some interest in that area. I'm just going to double check that everyone can see my screen okay. Can someone just write in the chat if they can see it? Okay, perfect. Right, I'll go back to that then. Okay, great. So I'm going to make a start. Just to give you a little bit of context, a bit of background about us. So we are RotaMaster and we provide workforce management software. So that's everything from rotas to HR. And we've been doing that for over 23 years now. So we've got a wealth of experience in providing those types of software into a wide range of health and care sectors. So we've got currently over 60,000 staff members using the software every day to help them manage their shifts. And we are the only workforce management software that has been exclusively designed for health and care organisations. I myself have been working at RotaMaster since 2015. So throughout that time, I've seen a huge change and a big shift in the number of recruitment and vacancy issues that my clients have. That is a constant struggle that people are facing. It's really changed the way people are using RotaMaster. And so that was one of the reasons that we wanted to put this out for anybody that might be interested in just some thoughts from us about how they could potentially tackle some of the issues they're facing. So just to give you a bit of background and introduction to the scale of the problem, I'm sure those of you on the front lines are feeling this more than anybody else, but just some figures from September 2020 shows that there are over 33,000 vacancies across the NHS, which represents a 10% vacancy rate, which is absolutely huge. Obviously, those are being filled by bank staff, locums, and also by full-time staff members who are having to do overtime. So there's a big problem. And even larger so in care, we've got 165 vacancies across adult social care, which is an increase threefold since 2021. So, you know, the scale of the problem is bigger and ever growing. As you all, I'm sure, know, the challenges of understaffing are an increase in workload on staff. So staff members having to do extra, having to be called upon to stay longer, having to do more overtime, having to take on more during a shift, look after a wider number of patients, which of course leads to an increase in stress, potential for burnout. I think somebody just sent a message in the chat, so I'm just going to double check. No, that's fine. An increase in potential for burnout and a general lack of morale. You can imagine the moaning that can go on, you know, rightly so in a lot of cases, I'm sure. And just a general demotivation, which is surely going to have an impact on the end result, which is, of course, patient care. There are 2 determining factors for these vacancies. The first is recruitment and the second is retention. And we're going to talk about, of course, both of those today. So the first thing, how to recruit staff, how to try and solve this problem that we've got, this huge problem with hundreds of thousands of vacancies across health and social care that need to be filled. So the first thing that prospective employers can do is write better job adverts and promote them in the right place. So be really clear in the job advert who you're looking for, what it is that you want this person to have about them, have previous experience of. Be really specific as much as you can, and who you aren't. You don't want to be receiving loads of inappropriate applications for you to be sifting through. Try and narrow it down as much as you can, but also take into account the wide range of potential applicants that you may receive. One of the key things I would say is it's essential to move quickly. So good applicants will likely be interviewing with multiple organisations, and if they're in need of a job, they will be probably more likely to go and work for the first person that offers them a job. So what I would say is review your recruitment process. Is it slick? Is it efficient? And is it you know, fit for purpose? Make sure that you're getting those job offers out. Make sure that hiring managers are given time to prioritise hiring. Very important that they have the opportunity to hire quickly where needed. And promote in the right places. So listed on our website are some both free and paid for resources that you can use in order to effectively advertise your jobs. But what I would add, which will link into my next point, is social media. So are you using your social media to advertise your jobs? And that brings us nicely on to investing in your employer brand. So when you're thinking about what might attract candidates to your organisation, what is it about your business that makes it appealing for a candidate or a potential candidate? Why might they look at your website and think, oh, this looks like a nice place to work? Have a think about that. And is there anything, if you were a prospective employer, that you would see and think, yeah, that sounds like a bit of me. I quite fancy sending my CV over there and seeing if I could potentially join the team. Now, linked to that, as is in the next couple of points, social media channels, are they up to date? Are your staff members visible on your social media channels? Can staff members get a feel for your organisation through your social media channels? Now, the recent studies show that 76%, which is huge, of prospective candidates will be viewing social media channels before they decide to accept a job offer. So it's vital that those channels, which is free to do, keep them up to date, keep them looking friendly and focused on your staff as much as you can. You can also advertise and offer rewards, benefits and training. So again, staff members can, often when they're looking for a role, they want to find a role where they feel that they could potentially see themselves staying for a number of years. Are you providing a career path that they can see even from day one? And culture, again, are you showing what your culture is like on your social media channels and your website? Can prospective candidates get a feel of that, a feel for that? Does your organisation look friendly and appealing? All things to consider when you're looking at your employer brand in terms of recruitment. Third point, referrals. Now, this is something we do internally and have done for a long time, and we've had some of our best hires, and it's obviously a completely different sector, but we've had some of our best hires from staff referrals. So it's the fastest and cheapest way to hire staff members. It's often people who are going to be a great cultural fit because they know somebody within the organisation who has obviously seen that they might be a good fit. They have a link within the organisation, somebody they can talk to and lean on when needed. It obviously is just a great way to attract potential staff, is ask your staff members, do you know anybody that needs a job? And inputting an employee referral scheme, much cheaper than using recruiters. Now, how to retain staff. Now, we've gone through the lengthy and painful process of recruitment, but prevention is better than the cure. So how do we retain our staff once we have them on board? The costs of poor retention rates are very obvious, but just to touch on a couple of points. Financial, the cost to hire. Imagine the blood, sweat and tears that goes into recruitment, creating the JD, going through its CVs, the interview process, then training somebody up from the ground. I mean, the amount of resource that goes into that is huge. And then if somebody just leaves, what a waste, and how demotivating for the people who've been involved. So really important to retain staff and ensure that you avoid that. Service levels. So obviously when people leave, there's going to be gaps in the rota. There's going to be a lack of staff members on the ground, which obviously is going to impact both service levels and unfortunately patient care. And especially within our care home clients, our patients do like to see the continuity of care, so see the same familiar faces as much as possible. And if there's a constant revolving door of new staff members because you can't retain your staff, then that is going to lead to a lack of that. So something to think about. And when we're talking about retention, there's 5 R's of retention. I'm not sure if any of you will be familiar with this. But the first is responsibility. So upskill and personal growth. So are you providing a clear path for progression for your employees? From the lowest level employee, they want to know often that they can join your organisation and eventually leave with more skills and a more well-rounded potential employee and person than when they started. So what are you offering in terms of that? How can a staff member see their path throughout the organisation? Very important to think about that and discuss that with your staff members from very early on. Respect and feeling valued. Now, this is one of the things that is so easy to do, free, which is always great. But one of the things that I think organizations spectacularly fail on so often. So giving your employees respect and making them feel valued. So how are you doing that? How are you giving your employees that time and attention? So even something as simple as when a new starter completes their first shift, giving them a call, just a 60-second call to find out how they got on, how they were feeling, was there anything they needed to ask or anything they needed help with, just checking in. 60 seconds of your time and you might have that employee for years to come. So just going the extra mile. Do you advertise? Again, we've talked about staff members on your social media channels. So any celebrations that staff members have when they have a baby, when somebody gets a promotion, when somebody's been to a workplace event, even down to somebody's a big birthday milestone. Are you advertising those things on your social media? Are you shouting about and showcasing your staff members and really making them feel as a seen part of the organisation? Again, very easy to do, but so easily forgotten. Revenue, obvious one, probably the most obvious one. Performance is either performance-based bonuses or anything that you can give your staff in terms of remuneration, even if it's down to, a birthday voucher, whatever it might be, something monetary in terms of monetary value to make them feel that you're worth staying with in terms of a workplace for them. Reward. How do you recognize great work? So as simple again as it is, but easy to forget, a well done from a line manager for a good hard day's work. Do you have things like employee of the month? Do you recognize individuals for their success? Are you championing people who are going the extra mile? How is that done? And is there anything else that you could implement to help your staff feel a bit more rewarded? And finally, relaxation time. So annual leave, are staff members encouraged and feel able to just take their annual leave when they need to? So often we hear that staff members are not even getting through their annual leave because of short staffing. Staff members need that time to relax and recharge their batteries so that they're able to give 100% of themselves. And I think providing relaxation time is really, really key. Do staff members get their breaks? Again, making sure that people are not getting burnt out as much as you can is really vital. So 4 takeaways that you can implement right now today that can help you. Focus on retention. So those 5 R's that we just talked about, and I will be sending a copy of the slides across so that you can refer back to these if that's something you want to do. But is there anything else that you can do in regards to those 5 things? Even if you just picked one thing to do today and decided to implement that, it could make a big difference. So really think about what you can do to focus on retention and making your staff members feel valued, rewarded, recognised, etc. The second thing is move fast with recruitment. So I would spend an hour reviewing the recruitment process from start to finish, making sure it's fit for purpose, making sure the emails that you send out are appropriate, are welcoming, are engaging, they don't have any errors in, and just making sure that your organisation is able to move quickly in terms of making those job offers when required and don't risk losing out on talented staff. Third, introduce a referral scheme if you don't already have one. Again, such a simple and cost-effective way to hire staff, and one I would really, really recommend that everybody should do. Number 4, update your social media channels. Go on your social media, make sure you've got an up-to-date Twitter and up-to-date Instagram if appropriate, and advertise your business, your organisation, your staff members on there. Make sure everything is up to date and that things are posted regularly so that people who are looking, those 76% of employees who do check social media before deciding to work for a certain organisation, can see an engaged and happy workforce on there. And finally, in conclusion, so you might be wondering, what's kind of why we've done this today, or perhaps it's obvious. But we, as I said in the beginning, provide workforce management software. So we can help with some of these aspects as well. So the first way we can help, if that's something you're potentially interested in, is better engagement with staff. So onboarding is one of the most important things after recruitment that can aid in retention. So Google did a study that showed that employees decide if they like a new business within the first 10 minutes of being there, which is shocking, really. But we all know that first impressions count for a lot. So imagine as part of your onboarding being able to introduce your staff members to a lovely modern app that they can log into with ease. It's just on their mobile phone. They can view their shifts. They can book into additional shifts if they want to. They can request leave. They can request swaps. It's all there for them in one place. They don't have to copy down a rota from an ever-changing spreadsheet. It is a live copy of the rota. And staff members really enjoy having that autonomy and that live view of their shifts. Secondly, it reduces errors and confusion. So one of the quickest ways to demotivate staff members is to make a mistake in their payroll. So if staff haven't been properly remunerated for the shifts that they've worked, that is a huge demotivator. With RotaMaster, we can calculate all of the shift values based on the length of the shift, including paid or unpaid breaks. And we can feed that through to your payroll system with ease. So payroll, instead of being on a spreadsheet that involves multiple calculations, it's all done with the click of a button, and it's just going to save huge amounts of time and inaccuracies. It also provides clearly defined rotas. So often new starters, when they join an organisation, can't decipher their rota. It's on a messy spreadsheet or it's on a whiteboard they've got to copy down. Providing them with a clear rota that they know, right, this is what I'm doing for the month, is they can forward plan for their life around work and provide that work-life balance. So it's great for that. And then lastly, automation. So in RotaMaster, you can set the shift templates that you require in terms of how many staff members of each type you need on a particular day. And you can run an auto allocation. Now, this auto allocation can prioritize critical shifts so that you're making sure your staffing level is correct for your service. But it will also focus on giving staff members a fair spread of the different types of shifts, so that rather than somebody always working a Friday night, always working weekends, it will give everyone a fair spread over the year of the different types of shifts, so that people don't get burnt out and people don't feel that the manager is always putting them on the same shift every week and feeling a little bit disenfranchised by that. So staff really like the fact that the auto rostering can assist with giving them a better work-life balance. That's everything I wanted to say today, but thank you so much everyone for joining. I really appreciate that, and I will follow up shortly, but please do get in touch. My email is grace.finnigan@rotamaster.co.uk. I'll be very pleased to hear any questions. If anyone is interested in RotaMaster or hearing a little bit more about it, again, please do drop me an email. And I hope that your recruitment and retention efforts go swimmingly for 2023. Thanks, everyone.